That's why I'm trying to figure out whatever.
Sure. How long you leave?
Diane,
The one from
about the actual check presentation.
yeah, I was aware of that. It's like right at 2, I think.
I signed in and on up to but I'm the
Okay, yeah. Yes. And try to focus, just make sure, well, actually, you can look right now. Does it need to come forward or back? You probably have to just take the whole device.
I just wanted to move it up. Just
Okay.
if you have a really tall person,
How's that?
you're gonna cut their head off.
I'm not ready to be on, sorry.
I'm testing.
Is that
That's
good?
too far out.
Okay. Okay, try that. And does it need to come, it can come back some. It can. It doesn't have to be close up necessarily, but.
I understand. That's good.
Okay.
That way, somebody like the speaker who's
And
tall.
yeah, pretty much when I'm back here, I'll pay attention to it. It's just, I can't do this and that at the same time. Thank you.
yeah. Apparently something wrong with the building.
He'll be first up.
Yes.
Who's that?
Well, Alan, would you introduce guests? I don't know if we have any. Nobody took the sheet today, so I don't know. It's the officers or the citizens. I don't know who it is. I don't know about guests.
I can do guests. Not knowing who they are.
Yeah. He was transferring this posting. That's a good speaker. So this is really, I think, not Jared, well, Jared. So,
All right, we'll handle this.
okay. Welcome, Vaughn Johnson is going to lead us in our invocation.
Hello, we just want to take this time to lift you up and give you thanks for this beautiful day. Once again, you've given us. We ask you to bless our lives, this building, to us. And in this time of great distress in our nation, everything that's going on, we just ask you to try to give us many people peace and comfort through the stress and anxiety that they suffer through all this. And Lord, we just ask you to bless our body and spirit here for being of joy. And we ask you for your blessings, most high and precious name.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. By the dawn's early light, was so proudly we read, that the twilight's last gleam, whose marches and bright stars through the narrow one's path, o'er the land which we crossed, worship heaven we sing, and the rockets that blare, the thirsty away. Gave the blood, that our flag would stand. Oh, say let's and earth and rain. Oh, land of the free, and the home of the brave.
Please be seated. Thank you, Tricia. You made us sound so much better. I'd like to welcome everybody to our August 10th membership meeting. And I've called on Art Mullen to introduce a guest. I don't think we have many guests in here, but he's going to do a quick introduction of guests.
All right, a quick introduction of guests. I'm going to start here at the back and kind of go table to table to see who we've got. So let's start at this table. Any guests at this table? All right, Paul. Paul.
Welcome.
All right, moving on around.
Well, introduce Jared real quick.
How about this table right here?
Nope.
How about this over here? How about here? All right. Go ahead.
Roberto Dorito was signed over the clock. I was in District 4694. I have over 50 years in Rotary International, working with different programs and companies. I was working with life. I'm here to say thank you.
great to have Rotarians visit from other places. Let's see.
And our guest speaker.
I'm coming up there. This table here, on this table. All right, David, you're and back around this way. All right, well, we've got our guest speaker, but Bill is going to be introducing him. So, Diane, back to you.
Thank you, Art. We'd also like to welcome our friends on YouTube. It looks like we've got a good number of people. I'm going to let them see everybody. Everybody wave. There we go. Hope you guys saw that. Let's hope I put the camera back in the right spot. I do want to remind anybody who comes up here to speak, my husband's in Toastmasters, and apparently they have to sign their lives away to be on camera and all that stuff. So if you are speaking, you are going out on live time, YouTube live today. If that is a problem, just let me know. You can speak over here from the corner. But just to give everybody a heads up that that's what's happening. I would like to start us out with a couple of good news things. I would like to wish our immediate past president, Jeff Johnson, and his wife, Deborah, a happy 44th wedding anniversary. And I think it's Brad, were you guys celebrating an anniversary recently as well?
Yeah.
What year? 12 years, so congratulations to both of them. John Hart, who is the South Tyler Rotary Foundation treasurer, gave me today a check, which we're going to be using as part of our grant distributions, for $23,868.35. So that is how much we'll have for grants, John. Not all of that, because some of it's already been spent, but most of that will be given out on grants. And Rotary Minute, Jeff Johnston and John, the dual. If you'll come up to make announcements, that would be great. And I'm gonna let Lee start. Are you not wanting to be on camera?
I'm just maintaining distance.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody. A couple of things. One, we're going to have an orientation on Thursday afternoon or evening at 5:30 at Walk-On. Everybody's welcome, but this is especially for new members or anybody that would like to update a little bit on club history, club impact, a little bit about Rotary, a chance for you all to ask questions about the club. And so we would sincerely invite you to come down to Walk-Ons, 5:30 on Thursday. Membership minute. This is membership month. I'm privileged to serve as the district membership chair for this year. I remember when I was invited into Rotary, it was, come on, let's go to lunch. I had no idea where lunch was, but it was Rotary meeting. And that's as simple as it can be to really make an introduction for someone into Rotary. I enjoyed the fellowship. I enjoyed the aspect of their service and what they did for the community. And it took a while for me to learn about the other Rotary International events and impacts that are our. But one of the things I would suggest to you is to have maybe a visual cue in your home or your office. So I handed out this Polio Plus brochure. I'm going to encourage you to put this in your office. Put a personal copy of Colleen Colby. Of course, there are people on fixed income like Tom DeWitt that don't have an office anymore, being retired. But most of you, us, are still working. So anyway, put this in your office, in your waiting room. Put your name on it. See if someone comments on it, or take the opportunity to say, why don't you take a look at this brochure? I'm a part of this organization, and I would like you to know a little bit about what we do. And see if they might not have some interest and they might come to lunch with us. So just a little tip, a little visual cue. Tell a story about Polio Plus. place. This gives you the information. The second possibility is, for those who've been around a long, long time, like John Hart, you may have a Rotary moment, a personal story, a personal testimony, something that really impacted you in your Rotary service days and made you or transitioned you from being a member to being a Rotarian. There is a difference. And being a committed Rotarian often has a transitional moment, and we call that the Rotary moment. So thank you, Diane.
And I'm going to call over Joe Johnson to do a quick announcement as well.
All of you've heard about the disaster going on in Beirut. Brought to our attention, there are a number of Rotarians in the country and in the city of Beirut. There's like 6 or 7 phones. We're going to talk today after this meeting. The foundation is going to bring forth a motion to hopefully that we provide some financial assistance. So Rotary Foundation Board meeting just for a few minutes after this meeting today. Thank you.
And then John is going to talk to us about the grant process.
Yeah, very quickly, I had the honor of serving on the grant committee this year. We need 5 more members to help to review the grants. Once he does, the grant process now is open, and on September 14th, we expect to have all our grants in by then. So if you have an organization that you support, then please make sure you get someone that is on the board of that committee that's going to turn in a grant for us. And then by October the 10th, we will be making the award for those grants. So I would ask that anybody that has an interest in serving on the committee, please let me know, or Pam Jacobson. And the best way to reach me is through email, john@jatyler.org.
Thank you, John. I emailed him the other day and said, hey, would you mind taking on the lead of this? And he said, yes, woo-hoo. Exciting. Oh, that was fun. Tough crowd today. Tough crowd today. A couple of the things I wanted to mention, you probably saw an email come out either Saturday, I think it was Saturday afternoon. The District 5830 applied for a Rotary Foundation grant to help support organizations in East Texas, and our district runs up into a little bit of Arkansas, correct me if I'm wrong on that. And Rotary International approved a $25,000 grant, and it's going to be distributed to a variety of food banks. The East Texas Food Bank here in Tyler is going to get $17,000. There's a check presentation on Wednesday at 2 o'clock, and there's also volunteer opportunities from 1:15 to 4:15. If you're interested in serving in one of those shifts, they do ask that you wear a mask, and they'll provide other guidance for us from there. But you do need to sign up for the show, so if you didn't get the link and you're interested, you can see me or Tom DeWitt will help me out. You can see Tom and he'll write down your name and we'll get you on the list. So it's like 1:15 to 2:15, 2:15 to 3:15, and 3:15 to 4:15. So if you're available on Wednesday, he was talking about the brochure here, and I was doing some cleanup around my house over the weekend because we're having a bathroom remodel, and I came across about 10, maybe a year's worth of the Rotary magazine. And you should all be receiving the Rotary magazine. If you're not, let us know, let Tom Steele and myself know. And that might be another good thing to pass along to your place of business, a doctor's office, any place where there's waiting rooms. Nice to cover a whole month. And Bill is responsible for getting us our speakers for the month of August. There will be and Bill is responsible for getting us our speakers for the month of August. There will be sports theme. John Hart will be doing part of October, and this is usually economic development theme. Christmas, we have our man board, I think that's it. We have our Christmas celebrations. So number one, if you're interested in helping Colleen, she's ready to raise your hand. But thank Bill for taking the time to set these up, and he's going to introduce our guest speaker.
Thank you, Diane. Appreciate it. If I had $1 for every time I've been asked to go to football, I wouldn't go back to work today. Okay. The answer is, I don't think we know, but we're trying to get a little bit of clarity. Obviously, what's going on in the world right now has affected sports in particular, and the games we play, which are deemed obviously fun, but not essential. You don't have to do it. People are spending disposable income, but it's also vital, I think, to the welfare of the country because people enjoy sports so much. No sport, in my opinion, will be impacted more long-term than college athletics. The NFL's not going anywhere, Major League Baseball's not going anywhere, the NBA's not going anywhere, high school football's not going anywhere. All supported by taxpayers, the NFL is a major drag. College football is a whole different ballgame. Howard Patterson lives in that world every day. Chuck Smith's not here today. TJC is in that world every day. And so I think college athletics will be impacted more than any of the others. And we're seeing that right now. And in fact, there's breaking news that John will talk about coming up in a moment on the status of college football. I've known John for nearly 40 years. I did some of his games when he played college football at TCU. I get to know him for he and his family for nearly 40 years. He is now associate athletic director of Big 12. He's run a golf tournament. I mean, he's done a lot of things in the sports world in his lifetime. So he is a great resource for me. I really kind of want to know what's going on behind the scenes in the college athletic department at that level. And I have enjoyed having him not only as a close friend, but having him come down here. Many of you have heard John before, and hope you enjoy it today. So get your questions ready, and we'll talk a little college athletics, particularly college football, with John Bennett, TCU.
That's shocking because I'm not used to Bill being so nice today. Thank y'all for showing up for who behaved today and be very nice. But thanks for having me. It's great to be back here again with you. Normally, this second week of August, I'll come down. I don't know, it's been 4 or 5 times in a row now. And usually I get down here and I sit back in Fort Worth and I go to practice and start memorizing jersey numbers and names and new players and that sort of thing. Our team is still working out, but it's much different now. And if you haven't been tested for COVID, you don't get into practice. They've got to create a bubble type situation around the team. And, this whole situation is really going to turn our world upside down, not only sports-wise, but everywhere, because it's going to take away a lot of freedoms and a lot of liberties that we're used to because of the restrictions on what we can do and where we can't go. I wish I'd known to start a mask factory out here. I'd be sick for free. But thank you for having me again. Rotary does great work. Love coming here and singing the pledge and singing the national anthem. My wife was actually the first woman president of her Rotary club at Plano Metro Rotary. So she said, tell all her fellow Rotarians and tell her hello. She's Paul Harris Fellow. She's all that. And I've worked my fair share of fundraisers and go around picking up door prizes and all those sort of things. So y'all do great work. And thank you for all you do. I'm going to take it back to March 11th. I was in Kansas City. We're in the Big 12 basketball tournament, and we were playing Kansas State in the first round game on that night when all of a sudden word started to break that other leagues around the country were going to either cancel their basketball tournament or severely alter what they were doing. While we were playing our game during timeouts, the Big 12 decided that they would play second round games the next day, and the coronavirus issues. They would play those games, second, third round, and the finals would all be played in front of empty arenas. It would be staffs, teams, and a few selected administrators from each team. That's what we're doing. Our game is packed next morning when it's announced that the ACC canceled their tournament, and then the Big East canceled their tournament, and the Pac-12 canceled their tournament, the Big Ten canceled their tournament. Big 12 was one of the last to do it, but by noon, pretty much all of those tournaments have been taken off the table. And now, here we are in the first week of August, when we thought, well, this will last 4 or 5 weeks and we'll be over with. Here we are doing the same thing all over again. And as administrators, as conferences, we are kicking, we've got to kick the can as far down the street as we can, hoping to buy time and hoping to see if things improve. And they haven't really. And there's been a little bit of dip in Tarrant County where TCU is located. But yesterday, they're back, it's ramping back up, over 800 new cases yesterday, and that's happening around the country. And now we're really down in the headline. I was telling Bill earlier that the rumors are that the Big Ten pretty much said they're looking at it. They haven't come out officially said yet that Jim Harbaugh, the coach of Michigan, just sent out a statement. Everybody is sending out statements. This is probably comes back. There needs to be a commissioner of college football. There's not one right now. You've got 5 power conferences that kind of run everything, and it's kind of a free for all. But it's looking like the Pac-12 is going to follow suit. There's a lot of meetings going on today within the SEC, the ACC, and the Big 12 tomorrow. Big 12 chancellors and presidents budget, the operation budget year to year. So there's a lot of pressure to get that done. Of that revenue, we, as a member of the Big 12, get about $40 to $45 million a year from our television and all contracts. So that's a big, big number. And ultimately, that's a huge concern for us because if there's no football season, then where does that revenue come from? It's hard to replace. If you're not playing on television, you're not going to get TV revenue. So we're battling that. That's part of it. You've got to have your safety, your players, your coaches to consider. And then you've also got the increased cost of trying to operate a football program with 120 players, in addition to coaches, trainers, managers, and trying to keep all of them healthy. That's a price tag of about $20,000 a month just to do testing for that one school alone. So expenses are going way up to operate. Revenue potentially going down, and that's an issue. Also, not only on the athletic side, but also the academic side. There's a lot of parents that are concerned about sending their kids back to school. Could they get sick? Also, a good number of courses are now online as opposed to in person. And there's some parents that may want to pay full tuition for their kids to go to school that's online. So you may have a reduction in enrollment, and therefore a reduction in tuition revenue as well. So that's impacting all of us. And we're very lucky to be in a Power 5 league where the finances are pretty good, the TV contracts are pretty good. We're not prepared long term to withstand this sort of onslaught from the standpoint of increased expenses and reduced revenue. We're in a better spot than a lot of schools around the country. And in most cases, athletic departments around the country, especially in smaller schools, operate at a deficit. And the university picks that up as kind of an advertising and promotional cost that they understand. But now, without playing the season, without the ticket revenue, without all the things that at least help float that a little bit, it's a critical crisis. Until last week, I don't know if you think we're going to rest it. We've been in a crisis in college athletics since about the end of March, when they canceled the Final Four. That's a really big revenue producer. And I've been in more meetings, and we've done work on more scenarios. What if we play in front of, what if we're allowed 75% capacity in the stadium? What if we're allowed 50%? Now we're really hoping maybe hang on to the season when you play in front of 25%. Then how do you decide which season ticket holders get in, which don't? And none of those solutions are good. But right now, it's just embarrassing. By the time we get out of here, the Pac-12 and the Big Ten have already decided they've had enough and they're out. So it's a financial math problem for us. It's a cultural issue. Bill said, America, especially small town America, needs college football. You start thinking about what cancellation of football season would do if you're a hotel or a restaurant owner in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, or Manhattan, Kansas, or Ames, Iowa, or some of these Pullman, Washington, or Dallas, Oregon, all these places where you've got schools like Texas A&M. You've got schools that are at outposts in small towns, a lot of those businesses make their year in that 3 month, September, October, November timeframe when people are rolling in for the weekend. Some of them come in as early as Wednesday or Thursday and spend all weekend and bring them up. So it's pretty critical. As far as other things going on in the Big 12, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's looking like basketball season is probably going to get pushed to being a one semester sport at least this year. We're going to start sometime after the first of the year. And then the spring sports, we're hoping to keep them on track with baseball starting mid-February. But that all remains to be seen. There's been some legislation kicked around about COVID aside, moving baseball to where they start in late March to accommodate a lot of the northern schools. The weather's too bad early in February and March when the baseball season normally starts, and moving them to kind of late March to early August time frame where the College World Series will be in early August. So it's critical. East Texas, from a standpoint of recruits, football-wise, we've got 8 kids from right around Tyler, Lindale, Jacksonville. TCU's been the beneficiary of a lot of talent that comes out of East Texas. Probably the best player we've got out of East Texas right now is Terrell Cooper, who's one of our defensive tackles. He's from Lindale, and hopefully, if we play, he'll be one of our leaders on the defensive line on what should be probably one of the top 2 defenses in the Big 12. We've got a lot of guys coming back. The secondary linebackers are good, the defensive line is deep, so we're hoping that those guys get to go to work. That'd be fun. We're hoping for kind of a bounce back year. We've had 2 so-so years in a row, a 7-5 year and a 5-6 year. So there's nobody that wants to get back out there more than Coach Patterson and this current team. So with that's kind of an overview of what's going on. Sorry to be so dour, but that's the truth of the matter. We're all kind of sitting on the rail waiting for them to say go or stop. But I'm happy to entertain any questions you may have. And again, thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much.
What happens if you don't play? Without the revenue, what happens? What's the
Well, I think, the long term, the short term is that's a bad deal. You're going to keep kids in school. They're going to continue to work on their degrees, that sort of thing. From the revenue standpoint, there's got to be a quick assessment on what impact that definitely has on the operating revenue of the university. You may be looking at furloughs for some staff, critical staff, and also they would also probably be looking. That's staff across the board, not only athletic but on the academic side as well. When you start to take hits of that magnitude, then you've got immediately the old lean and mean mentality goes into play. And you've got to figure out what can you say, both on a shorter term, 18-month basis, and on a longer term, what does that look like?
How does it determine what sports you got? If you were going to get there,
well,
I understand you're playing campus, right?
Yeah, you got to take those, one by one. The other side, regardless of the COVID situation, the financial situation, and really the profit and loss, if you will, for each sport's going to get a hard look. And the other side of this discussion that's not even taking place yet. When you start to cut sports, then you've got to look and see where you are from a Title IX compliance standpoint, because that law is still there. It's not going anywhere. And you've still got to figure out, okay, if we're gonna do this, how does it work? And your cuts probably start coming, I know, from the TCU side, because football is a big factor in that. And that's included in the number of opportunities. So we're 62% female at TCU, so a team that are all male, that skews your number way off. And we're making moves. We've added some sports on the women's side. We've gotten rid of some sports on the men's side to try to get closer to balance and show that we're moving in that direction. But realistically, I don't know that we can ever get to that 62% opportunities to win. We've added equestrian. We have 50 women on our equestrian team roster. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, again, we're just trying to balance it. So you can't just go willy-nilly. I was surprised at Stanford when they made that decision early on and they started cutting sports. But the men's side of it would be where I think we would first start to really take a hard look.
If any sport is terminated, what happens to those scholarships? Do they go away too?
They go away. Yeah, I mean, with the program lock, stock, and barrel, if it goes away. And Stanford did it right. I mean, they gave them 9-10 months heads up, so you know the kids can opt to find other places to transfer to. And the coach.
Follow-up to that question is what percentage of your kids are on scholarship that this could potentially impact?
Well, we have about 550 student athletes in all, and 450 of the 550 are on some sort of aid, varying from full rides to percentages. And you know, like baseball players vary from 30% to 100%, depending on how good they are. Again, baseball, for example, is limited to 11.6 scholarships for a roster of 25. So the coaches have to get creative in how they chop those up. But of the 550, 450 are getting some type of athletic aid. Now some of them that make really good grades, like our equestrian team, our women, our rifle team is all women. Those are all 4Os. Their scholarship money is augmented with academic scholarship money as well. So that helps some from a combo standpoint. But yeah, there's a lot of aid involved. Yes, sir.
What's the benefit for a kid that opt out of college football and goes into the pros?
Well, a lot of it's going to depend on what their classification is. You know, if they're basically a junior or older, then they can opt out, you know, go on to the pros. But you know, the truth of the matter is that you know we've had kids that have left after you know what would have been their fourth year of school with a year of eligibility remaining, and try to go to the pros and sign free agent. You know, the reality is that about 5% of high school kids end up playing college football, about 1% of college players end up playing in the NFL. So it's, you know, that's a narrow doorway to walk through. I could see, you know, where some that are, you know, already getting high ranks and are already being talked about the draft might just go ahead and say I'm done and leave and go to the pros. But for some, I mean, for the majority of them, my advice would be if you've got a fifth year and you've got a year of eligibility, stick around. Because, you know, you've got the rest of your life to work, go try the NFL. Plus, you know, in our case, we're going to keep those kids in school because, you know, if they cancel this year, we're planning on playing in 2021 or in the spring of 21. You know, go ahead and get a lighter schedule for the fall semester. You know, take an extra class and get some more hours behind you and get closer to that degree. I mean, there's some silver lining to it for the student athletes. But you know, if you ask all these kids, I mean, 100%, they want to play. I mean, they've been in off-season programs since the first week of January, and those are no fun. And then spring ball got canceled after the first week, and it's, you know, they're ready to play. It's very unfortunate. You know, I put myself in their shoes, and I think, man, what a heartbreaker it is to work that hard, and you know, you're basically a month away from kickoff. And, you know, this should be an exciting time. We're going to be talking about, you know, the Big 12 and how we're going to do. I mean, now we're sitting here talking about are we even going to play? You know, and here in the next 36 hours, we're going to learn a whole lot. It's pretty much come down to this capsule.
So we are going to play. How good is TCU's team?
I think pretty good. I think the Big 12 is wide open. Of course, you know, Oklahoma got all the votes in the media poll, which I voted in. And Brandon Stam over here, Bill votes in as well. What do we know? I think we're from a talent standpoint prepared to compete. Max Duggan will be our quarterback. He's He's a sophomore. He played most of his freshman year last year as a true freshman, talented kid. And I think we're a little bit better equipped offensively to score, especially if we get inside the opponent's 20-yard line. Last year, we weren't. We got some new offensive coordinator help and some new offensive staff that comes from the Big Ten that wants to kind of load up and be a little bit bigger in the red zone and utilize fullbacks and tight ends and, good old-fashioned pitching and out football, which I'm all for.
Hey, I'm not sure people really understand, explain if you would, the TV money factor in this, why, even without fans, an SEC, a Big 12, an ACC would want to play. Explain the TV money thing.
Well, and again, with every June, the first week of June is like payday for these conferences. That's when the networks transfer the money over to the schools. Last year, our payout for TV, and it's primarily TV. There's some bowl money, a little bit of college football playoff share money in there, depending on how your conference does. The majority of $45 million is from TV, and that's what we live on, and that makes a huge difference. And when we first got in the Big 12, I believe 2012 was our first year in the Big 12. Our payoff that first year was about $30 million, which, that's a huge difference between $30 million and $45 million. But the year before, which was our last year in the Mountain West Conference, even with bonus money for going to the Rose Bowl and winning the Rose Bowl, our TV money payout was $4.5 million. Okay? So that kind of shows you the difference between where the Power 5 is and where the American Athletic Conference is, which is where SMU plays, or the Mountain West Conference, or any of these, what they call Group of 5 leagues. It's a huge difference from a revenue standpoint. So these schools and these 5 power conferences are going to do everything they can, the 3 that are left now, Atlantic Coast, Big 12, and SEC, and do everything they can to protect the season and play it out, even in front of empty stadiums, in order to preserve that TV revenue, because that's a huge chunk of money that we all need. Yes, sir.
So back to the TV money, that only comes because of the advertisers. So what's to keep the advertisers interested if the fans are way down? Do the advertisers just have a lot of value?
Well, 2 things to that. Number one, a lot of these advertisers and companies that you see on college football, they're on multi-year deals. So they're already locked in anyway. What real benefit to the advertisers is, if nobody in the stadium, their viewership is going to go way up. Because you start talking about how many hundreds of games per weekend, and they're all watching on television. That's the only way they can get it. They watch on television, on their phones, on their iPads. They're going to, the eyes on the games being viewed via electronic media is going to be way up. You take Penn State was one of the first to say they don't allow fans. That's 108,000 fans that immediately went from in the stadium to watching television. And that's just one instance. So the numbers from a share and rating standpoint can only go up.
We have a question from YouTube. Jim Eccles wants to know, can you talk about the incident involving Coach Patterson's comments about African American players on football teams?
Yes, Coach Patterson addressed that last week with the team. Coach Patterson is a guy that he's been at TCU now for 22 years. He's been the head coach now this year, his 20th year, and he doesn't put up with much. And he had a player that was using a certain term that he didn't care for, and Gary let him know it. And Gary has said, he admitted, he said, I made a mistake by using the term myself as an example. Now, it got out on social media, and a lot of things were said that were inaccurate. It all got cleared up. He was not pointing at any one particular person. And, he's met with the team. It's clarified. I think what really shows what happened is, number one, the facts finally came out, the truth came out. Gary was trying to make an example of what he does not want said in his team meetings or anywhere around the team, which is exactly right. No, nobody should use that in any context. And the other thing is that players from 20 years ago, tons of past players and current players all came to his defense saying, especially the current players, that's not what happened at all. So it was clarified, and Gary Patterson's a stand-up guy, and I think anybody that's played for him will.
Lee mentioned, and you guys heard me talk about last week, August is membership month, membership and new club development month. We celebrate you. Well, hang on, who's the? Anyway, as I was saying, we can't do anything as a club without our members, and we celebrate you with M&Ms, opportunities, and I was trying to come up with some M's for our M&Ms, and I was probably going to do it a little bit fancier, like put little stickers on there, and I just said, I brought M&Ms, that should be good enough. But I found a couple of words that, number one, I had a really hard time pronouncing. And I thought words that I wanted to use, but I knew it wasn't going to roll off my tongue very well, is magnanimous. Because I think our club members are very magnanimous. Because I think our club members are very magnanimous. And then,
It's a Chick-fil-A.
I don't know, it's really about giving. It's along the lines of magnanimous. It's one who's generous. And then the other word that I had to look up, which has nothing to do with our club, but I thought I'd share it with you as a funny party moment as we wrap up. The word Dominican, M-I-N-I-K-I-N, Dominican. It kept on showing up on all of these words that start with M list. I looked it up and it's like something that's small, cute, and tiny or something like that. We're definitely not, we're cute, but we're not tiny. So anyway. Tyler, did you have something?
Remind of the Christmas.
Correct. Okay. Yeah, I think I mentioned last week, and I did talk to, all of a sudden her name went out in my head, Ashley. I have an Andrea Wilson I work with. Ashley Wilson, she's the current chair for the Tyler Rotary Club. We are moving forward at this time. It's going to be held on Saturday, December 5th instead of a Thursday. We are looking for at least 3 members of our club to serve on the league committee because we do take this over after this year, so it's really important that we get some folks involved in it. She actually is also trying to come up with some plans, some phases for in case we have to. So with that being said, we are going to adjourn with the 4-way test. And I'm going to call on Jerry Terry. Since you haven't been here long, would you mind please the 4-way test?
4-way test, things we say or do first.
Is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Much better. How many people do we have that are going to YouTube?
An email, there's 2 emails, and then I sent out an email Monday morning, so hopefully they're all around.
Excuse me. Good job.
Hey, Howard, you know the athletic director that school's ever had?
Well,
Oh, I am.